Welcome back. Today we are talking with cardiologist Dr. Brandon Drafts. He is with the Lexington Heart and Vascular Center over at Lexington Medical Center about what everybody's been talking about this week, Billy, the injury to Damar Hamlin, and also the impact, things parents should be thinking about when it comes to deciding whether their own children will play contact sports.
And I know we've had it with other parents as well, saying, you know, they're staying away from a football field after seeing that. But as Dr. Drafts just explained before the break, this is a rare event that happened. And there are signs that you can look out for to make sure that your little ones are being safe. And even if you are an adult and enjoy playing the game as well. So Dr. Drafts, thanks so much for sticking with us. When it comes to signs of cardiac arrest, what can people look out for if you're on the sidelines, right? You're not a medical professional and you see something that may be affecting the heart as someone is playing football. What is the number one thing to look out for?
Yeah, I think cardiac arrest is going to be a sudden event, and a lot of times there are no signs or warnings beforehand. You know, typically, and especially in the older population, you have signs of heart problems, whether that be coronary disease, chest pain, shortness of breath, dizziness, things that could lead to a heart attack that could then lead to a cardiac arrest, things like that. But especially in the adolescent or the young adult population where those cardiac risk factors are very low, if, again, an extremely rare event, but if it happens, there's usually typically no warning signs. And so that can be hard to kind of
hard to assess. So what are the questions parents should be asking? What are the things that the discussions they should be having with their pediatrician to really make an informed decision about whether to allow their child to play contact sports?
The biggest risk factor especially for adolescents is family history. So, having a pediatrician, seeing your doctor on a routine basis, going through your own personal and family history, and especially if someone in your family has had sudden cardiac death at a younger age, below 50, again, that's a major risk factor. That can prompt other tests to be done to see if it's hereditary, if that's something that we should be concerned about. And so that's typically what should happen, but definitely routine doctor visits, history and physical with your doctor, and a lot of times they can kind of tease out what might be high risk and what might be low risk.
Are there any underlying health conditions specifically affecting the heart that parents should be aware of when it comes to these very active sports and contact sports?
I think some kids and adolescents have congenital heart disease, and so a lot of times that's found at birth. And those types of patients are at higher risk for other events moving forward. And they definitely are followed by a pediatric cardiologist, and they definitely have certain restrictions based on their condition. But in general, for just normal healthy kids, again, routine visits with their pediatrician is the main thing.
And are there any signs or symptoms that parents should just kind of be aware of in the back of their mind? Maybe you don't have a family history, but you just want to know, is there something that could put your child at risk, or where, because so many times it can be a silent condition when you're talking about issues related to the heart, and you look back and say, gosh, had I realized, this was going on, I might have given it more attention.
I think the biggest thing in general with cardiology is exertional symptoms, so symptoms that you have when you're exerting yourself. So if you're active, exercising, getting your heart rate up, and you notice any type of concern that's different, fatigue, weakness, shortness of breath, dizziness, things like that during exertion is always going to be a concern from a heart standpoint. And that can happen at any age. So if you have those types of concerns, I would definitely bring it up with your doctor.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point, and the fact that you said that family history,
because
you go to the doctor, they ask those questions, and you may not realize how important that is in that moment about family history, but I guess having that conversation with your family as well, and making sure you know.
Well, and even about everything is blood pressure. My husband found out he had high blood pressure. He's always been in great shape. Never had any idea that both of his parents had high blood pressure. So taking that time to have those conversations. We're out of time, but just can you give us a preview of what we should be looking for as encouraging news about Damar?
Yeah, I think it's just more independence for him. So as long as they're weaning his support in the right direction, less oxygen requirements, that would be obviously good news. And I think the main thing moving forward really is education and awareness, and making sure that we have AEDs and, making sure we're getting CPR trained. And so the
Yes.
more people that know what to do and having that equipment at the time, that's what's going to save lives.
Game changer.
Yeah.
Great information and insight. We appreciate it, Dr.
Absolutely.
Trask.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.